we have these pride dice. They come from Sirius dice. Tell me how these dice came about.
My thing when I work on different pieces, whether that's with a company or my own stuff, is that I want something that is a little bit more than the traditional thing. And so let's take the idea of it being a pride set and add in subtle things into it that give it a little bit different. Like, for instance, each dice is the color of one of the traditional pride flag stripes. So instead of them all being like one color, like a lot of dice are, where they all kind of like match each other, they're different in that sense, and how everybody in the queer community are all different pieces of a pie that we call the queer, the LGBTQIA plus community. And then the progress flag being inset in there as well, just to kind of link it back to my actual work.
Yeah, I mean, for those that don't know, you designed the progress flag.
Yes.
That is part of how we got here.
Yes, yes.
What was that like, designing that?
Well, I mean, it was nothing at first, just because there's just, normal late night insomnia art project. It wasn't intended to be something huge. It was the fact that I got it onto the internet, and then the internet just ran away with it and did their thing.
And for those that don't know, what was significant about that design?
Philadelphia and Seattle had come out with their own versions of the pride flag that had, Philadelphia's was the black and brown stripe across the top that was meant for racial equity. It was called the More Color, More Pride flag. And then Seattle came out with a version of that then had the trans stripes across the top. And they didn't have a specific name for it or anything like that. They just put it out as the city of Seattle. And I saw that and I was like, well, what is something I can do with the design of it that can re-emphasize their messaging and kind of help lend to their messaging even more? And so that's where the inspiration came. And then the part that I actually did is that I moved the elements that were added to that chevron shape. And what it did was it allowed it to pull focus to those specific things, as well as it being a chevron pointing in a direction was where I added in my own personal element, which was the idea of progress, which is here's these things that we need to do within the community, and we need to keep progressing on them. And then it's on the hoist of the flag, which is often the pole side of the flag, to represent the idea that we're still at the beginning of that. Or, we're still at an element where we need to keep doing this. There's room to grow, there's room to progress, we still have movement to do. So those are the elements that I brought into the flag.
What do you enjoy about playing Dungeons and Dragons?
I just really like the element of theater and just kind of being able to just do and be just about anything. I ended up connecting self-identity with the characters that I played, in that I played with elements of identity and gender and stuff like that in my characters, and then it was almost like a realization post those times that I was like, oh, I wasn't playing a character, I just infused a piece of myself that I didn't know was me, but now I realize it's me, so I'm identifying that way. And so for me, D&D is really just kind of it's fun, it's silly, it's stupid, I love it for that. You can have all those kind of things. It can be serious and stuff, but at the same time, it can also just be it's a sandbox. You can do anything with it. I don't think there's really any limitation. It's a game, but I feel like it's even more than that.